G'day and welcome to the Peter Montgomery Show. It's great to have you here. Now, I've got an awesome guest lined up for you today, but before we kick off, I just want to introduce you to our sponsor, YMag. YMag is a magazine all about your why you do what you do in business. One of the many great things about YMag is you can submit your why story to be featured in the magazine. You can request to be a feature writer about your business and about your why. And also, this is something I've taken advantage of, is you can secure prime advertising space in the magazine. And it's directed towards a niche audience, which is just incredible. I love it. So after the show, click on the link and go subscribe to YMag. All right, let's go meet our guest today. Well, g'day, Ezra. Welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks, Pete. Happy to be here, man. Appreciate it.
Now, I've been watching a little bit of the stuff that you've been doing over the last few weeks, and where you kind of caught my attention recently was you doing a podcast with James Schramm, Think Act Get.
Yeah, it's I really like it because I have creative direction over it. I get to structure the shows, and I like to talk about kind of out there, sort of hippy dippy, far out type stuff, and it's great because James is such a systems and mindset guy. So he's also brilliant and a sort of a free thinker. So we work well together.
Yeah, man. And I've had James on the show sort of last year as well, and so I'm sort of now keeping an eye on what he's doing and the stuff he's going on. So it's really cool. So as soon as I saw that, I went, okay. I listened to a few episodes, and here's how I know that you guys are doing something well. My wife has been my sounding board for forever, and for the last 4 years I've been doing this internet thing, and she's just over every idea. Yeah, whatever. Show me the money. Yeah, when it starts finally making money, let me know. We were listening to the podcast the other night, or I was. She was at the table doing something else, and she liked it. And she goes, I like that guy.
Yes.
I said, who's that? I said, it's Ezra. He's coming on the show next week. And she's like, I like it. So I know if my wife actually says she likes something, it's got to be good.
Yeah, I do well with the ladies, man. I mean, in general, we live in a, at least in America, I think Australia too, in a pretty male chauvinistic society.
Yeah.
And so I recognize that. I grew up on a hippie commune where I kind of learned about that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
So that I like that. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you say that where you came from, that background, that probably taps into it because we're not hippies or anything, but we come from a bit more of an alternative background type of thing. But then I showed her a photo of you, and she goes, "Wow, I didn't expect him to look like that." It was like, I said, "No, he looks like one of us." No, but anyway, man. So can you tell us about some of the work that you do? Like, who are the clients that you've got? Who are you working with?
Sure. So I I didn't really set out to be a marketing trainer or someone who teaches marketing. Kind of happened by accident. I was a friend of mine actually who lives in is from Cessnock, Australia, which for those of you who don't know is a really sort of small town in the Hunter Valley region outside of Sydney. This is about 8-9 years ago. It's like maybe not, actually 9 years ago. He was making money as teaching other people how to become a life coach. This was before life coaching sort of blew up. And he was generating leads for his business using the internet back then, search engine optimization. And I was playing poker for a living at the time. And so we structured this deal where he would teach me SEO and I would teach him poker. And I got really so I learned SEO at back then, which was, I don't know, it was very easy. It wasn't as complicated as it is now. But I got really good at it, and I ended up taking over the marketing for his company. And we did a bunch of stuff together. We did a bunch of product launches and made a bunch of money. And it was really good. And one of the things that we started together was this thing called Get Paid University, which was essentially teaching these coaches how to market their businesses, how to generate leads, how to do internet marketing type stuff. And I was like the head trainer for that. And I just really enjoyed it. And it was awesome. And I liked helping people. And I liked sharing what was working for me and my businesses. And it was great. And that kind of I sort of got bit with the bug of whoa, people are interested in knowing what I'm up to and what's working for me, because then they can use it for themselves. And so for a while there, I was doing a lot of local marketing consulting, and I've kind of bounced around. I've got, right now I've got some SEO clients where I do reputation management and stuff like that. I had a lot of AdWords. I buy a lot of media, so I had a lot of AdWords clients, a lot of Facebook advertising clients, a lot of people who are looking for e-commerce help, how to get, how to have their store convert better, what channels they're missing for their e-commerce store. So I don't really do structured client work, but a lot of times people come up and they say, hey, look, I'm looking for this thing, or I hear you're the guy who handles online reputation, and I'll take client work on, but mainly my focus is my own businesses. So it's kind of, I've got a mix of a bunch of different things that I'm doing at the same time. I'm not really in the client services business, but I will do services for people if it's a fit, if they've got a big enough, it has to be the job has to be worth my time, basically.
Yeah. So you say you got businesses. Like, what are your actual businesses that you do?
Sure. The one that I like to talk about most and share most is because you don't always share everything that you're up to, is a company called Boom by Cindy Joseph, and it's a pro-age cosmetic line. In America, back to the women liking me thing, this fits right in with that. We've got 76 million baby boomers, half of which are women, right? And these are women who are all going through menopause or post-menopause, and like their hair's graying and their skin's wrinkling, and they're like having this collective experience of their bodies aging on the outside faster than they are on the inside, and society treating them differently as a result of that. And they don't like it. And all the products out there, everything out there is like anti-age, anti-wrinkle, anti-women, basically. And so we created a cosmetic line that's pro-age, and it's about like, don't hide yourself and don't have to be ashamed of who you are, and be proud of those wrinkles that you've earned over time. And so it's like the messaging around this product, and the actual product itself is sheer. So when you put it on, it doesn't cake on and cover you up. It's like see-through. Yeah. And that's Boom by Cindy Joseph. So if you guys want to see cool e-commerce stuff and look at what we're up to there, that's a pretty cool business. The other site that you can look at of mine is smartmarketer.com, and that's my new marketing blog where I'll be actually got the idea from James Schramm, who you've had on the show, who I think we just talked about. I was going to do a marketing blog just to like share what I was up to and put out videos and stuff. And he gave me some tips on how I should structure it. And so I've got this blog coming online that'll be where I'll be sharing all what I'm up to.
Yeah, I had a look at that too. Like, it's some really cool stuff in there. And it's actually, when I saw the Think Act Get podcast, I went and I thought, I'm going to go check out what you're doing. And I saw that. I went, that's quality. That's really good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah. There's only one video up right now, but I need to.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny when you're in the space, you can recognize what's good and what's not quite easily. It's something you can just sort of spot the real thing and versus the other. And I
think people can do that. I think when someone's a hustler, and I agree with you, dude. You always know when something's quality. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. How did you meet James?
Schrammy. I met Schrammy. We've kind of been. We run in the same circles, and people have been telling me for a while, you got to talk to this dude. He was in my SEO mastermind, but then he left the SEO mastermind, so I never got to meet him. And we had a beer together at one of these events one time. And I can't remember actually how we ended up hooking up, but I joined his mastermind was what happened, I think. I think I found his mastermind. I'm a big fan of joining masterminds. I think masterminds are great. I've got a mastermind. I love, because the way that you get better at stuff is you find people who are doing it well and you learn from them, and we can't be experts in every single thing that it takes to run a successful business. So it really helps when you have friends who are doing really well who can say, hey man, this little strategy right here is a really good one. You ought to check it out. Or maybe you should think about starting a podcast or whatever it is. And we ended up becoming sort of buddies, and because he's just a goofy dude and we get along, and we ended up starting. It's cool. You meet people who you like, people in the community like tell you who you should talk to and who's like you, and then you end up doing business with them. It was kind of it didn't start out as like I'm going to meet this guy. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, and I think the best relationships probably start out that way anyway. Like they're just meant to be sort of thing. They just feel right from the start.
Kind of like us, dude. We got something good going here.
So can you tell me a bit about how are you actually helping people now? So we know you're doing the cosmetics thing. But as far as, say, the marketing stuff, like with the blog, because this show is kind of more geared about that. We can talk about the cosmetic stuff if you want to get more specific.
Let's talk about absolutely.
Yep. So the Smart Marketer website. Yeah, how is it going to be able to help people?
Well, I recently, what happened was I was asked to speak at an event called the SEO Rockstars event, which was an event in Sacramento, California, put on by a woman named Dory Friend of SEO Nitro, and she's awesome, and she's in my SEO mastermind, and so I went down there and I put together a presentation, and this was a room full of people who all had SEO companies. They were all 6 and 7 figure SEO suppliers, and I talked about parasite SEO, so how to rank anything other than your website, YouTube videos, meetup pages, Amazon pages, Twitter profiles, LinkedIn profiles, press releases, whatever.
I like that term, the parasite terms. Could you say that again?
Parasite SEO.
Yeah, okay.
So you're
cool,
essentially leveraging the authority of these other properties. You're being a parasite on these properties to rank. And I actually have the recording of that. It was like a $5,000 event that people paid to come to that. I got the recording of that available on smartmarketer.com. If you go and you opt in for my email list, it'll drop you on a thank you page where you can watch that hour-long video. And people really dug it. And I won like the best speaker thing. They gave me like this, and I'm a vegan. They gave me like this rabbit head as like the prize for winning best speaker. I don't know what I'm going to do with a rabbit head. Yeah. But so I kind of realized that, hey, the stuff that I'm doing, people like, and I had to share it with them. And so Smart Marketer is going to be, as I launch it this month, case studies from what's working behind the scenes in my e-commerce businesses, presentations on what I'm up to with Facebook advertising and Google pay-per-click and conversion tactics. And mainly, a lot of e-commerce people really like my stuff because there's not a lot of folks out there who are sharing what's working right now in e-commerce and what channels are working for e-commerce and what's working from a conversion standpoint for e-commerce. So it'll be a lot of e-commerce stuff, but marketing stuff in general, right? Because I feel like you got 3 areas, and I say this on the website. There's 3 ways you can grow your business. You can create more visibility for yourself. That's traffic, paying, buying traffic, getting SEO, joint ventures, podcasts, whatever. However you're creating visibility, there's a million ways to do that, and I'm going to be covering that on the blog. How do you get more visibility for your product, service, or website? Then once you get people to it, people who are interested in it, how do you get them to take you up on the offers you're making? That's conversion. That's landing page psychology. That's the science and art of getting people to take actions. And then once you get them to take action, once they become your customer, how do you engage with those people and get them to like you enough to come back and do business with you again in the future? And if you can handle those 3 steps, you're going to have a really successful business. And that's what I'm gearing Smart Marketer towards is, okay, this week we're talking about how to get more visibility. This week we're talking about what's working from a conversion standpoint. This week we're talking about how to get people to come back and do business with you again. Because I think that those are really the 3 key elements of success.
Man, that's unreal. I was going to ask you to describe e-commerce, but you've just done it. Yeah, right out there. Because e-commerce versus just marketing and, hey, come and look at my website, click on the link type stuff.
Well, I think e-commerce, it's very different. And one of the reasons I love e-commerce so much is that, and don't get me wrong, I love information marketing. I cut my teeth as an information marketer. I started as an information marketer, but there's a lot more persuasion necessary to convince someone to buy a piece of information from you. When someone comes to an e-commerce website, they were already looking for whatever it was you had. You don't have to convince them to buy it. You just need a picture and an add to cart button, a good-looking website, and a decent price. There's not as much persuasion necessary. And also, when you're selling information, you have the problem of consumption, getting people to consume the information that you've sold them. When you sell someone a physical product, you don't have that problem. You just ship them a box, and they have it, and now they've got it. They're done. That's it. They like it. They're happy with it. There's no I think the statistic is something like 20% of people who buy ebooks and go through courses and all that stuff actually use them. Now, that's not to say that it's bad that they bought it and didn't use it. Sometimes it makes people feel really good to purchase something and then let it sit for 2 years and then maybe have a look at it. But just the act of buying that thing furthers them on their path or makes them feel like they're moving in the right direction. Whatever it is, I'm not bashing people who sell info products. I sell info products, and I know that sometimes people don't use them, and that's just part of the game. But I like physical products for that reason, because consumption's 100%.
Yeah, well, they get it. It gets delivered, and they're happy.
Exactly. That's a pretty cool looking guitar back there. I need something fancy in my back.
Yeah, that's my old bass. I've had that for how long now? I was 18 when I bought it, so I've had it for like 20 something years. So it's a Fender Power Jazz Special.
Nice.
Yeah. So you play music, do you, man?
I play the ukulele.
Yeah.
Little ukulele.
That's
I grew up in Hawaii part time. Ukuleles are They're weird little instruments.
It's funny, I reckon, if you can play a ukulele well, you'll impress me more than someone who can shred on a guitar. Just because
Really?
everyone goes, oh, ukulele, whatever. But if you can really entertain someone and get people, excited, that does it for me.
Yeah, you should, listen, man. I'm telling you, I think it works. My wife likes it, so the ladies like it. It's good. It's easier to learn than the guitar too. Anyone who's listening to this, ukuleles are super easy to learn. There's only 4 strings.
Yeah. All right, man. So now that's how you're kind of helping people, and they're going to be doing stuff with Smart Marketer. Could you share some of the results? Like, what are some of the results? Maybe one of your clients, like your favorite client. What's something?
Yeah, we had a guy.
Something tangible.
Sure. Yeah, a guy who came through this. What I did. First of all, everyone at this. One of the things I talked about was online reputation management. So how do you use Parasite SEO? Because these were SEO people. These are people who were providing SEO services. And reputation management is huge because when you type in your name on Google or your business's name, you want what you want to show up, not what it's like it's tough. It's anyone could say anything about you and that'll just pop right up on Google, and that's not good. So what I did was I taught people how to leverage Parasite SEO to be able to add reputation management on as a service that they offered in their search engine optimization companies. And I got people emailing me being like, I've signed 10 clients for reputation management. I'm using your exact strategy. It's amazing. And this video that you get on Smart Marketer goes through my whole process for how I do reputation management for clients. And you can charge $5,000, $6,000. I mean, you can charge a lot of money per month to do reputation management for people because it's such an important thing, because people with real businesses need it. And so we got a lot of people out of that talk who were adding on reputation management clients. I did an e-commerce talk as well. And I spoke at Traffic and Conversion Summit, which was at the time of this recording, an event that happened 2 weeks ago. I'm getting I get emails all the time. Oh, I doubled my conversion by looking at your stuff, or I ran a sale and one guy did $60,000. He made one tweak to his business and did $60,000 in his first sale after my presentation, and he usually does $10,000. So people are getting results. Stuff works, man. It's go just if anyone who's listening to this podcast can go to my site and watch that Parasite SEO. It's you should do it for yourself. You should watch it just so you can manage your own reputation. When someone types in Peter Montgomery, for example, you want what you want to show up. You type in Ezra Firestone, and I own like the first 2 pages for that. Yeah. I've got videos, I've got social profiles, I got press releases, I got meetup pages, I got all kinds of stuff.
And it's kind of like you've chosen what you want people to see.
Exactly.
It's by design.
Here's what it is. Where we're at, I'll talk about it for a second.
Cool, man. I'm going to put, guys, just by the way, I'm going to put links down here to all these places that we're talking about, Smart Marketer and all that. So if you're listening to this on audio somewhere, come over to the site and click on the link and you'll be able to get through to all this stuff.
Awesome. So right now, where we're at is that Google's doing something called universal search, and it's because they understand that different groups of people prefer to consume media in different formats. So you've got some people who like to watch videos, some people who like to listen to audio, some people who like to read text, some people who like to engage with blogs. And so what Google's doing, you'll notice when you type in a search query, that what's showing up on the search result page on Google are all these different media formats: images, videos, news results, blog results. And they also understand the different type of query. So they understand if it's an informational query and the type of media formats that are relevant to that: blogs, Tumblr blogs, news results, images, videos. If it's a retail or commercial intent query, you're going to have product listings or Amazon and eBay and these sort of product channels. And so when you know the different channels that are available to you and the type of query that you have, whether or not it's informational or retail oriented, you can then go occupy each one of those channels so that for whatever query you want, you now have 10 different channels. So it's a lot easier to rank because Google needs a video result in their search result page. And if they don't have one, you can just pop one right in there. They need an image result. Like, they're going to put all these types of results in there because they know that users like them. So when you understand those different media formats, which you'll find out in my talk here on Smart Marketer, you'll be able to just dominate Google because you just take a specific media format. You take a video, you take a blog, you take a social profile, you take an MP3, SoundCloud page, you take a channel page like Meetup. So you just take all these different types of channels, you optimize them for your keyword, which isn't hard, and then they just start popping right up.
Man, that's awesome. That's it's. I think a lot of people miss that sort of stuff. They just think my website needs to get on Google, and they're done. But yeah, no, so that's all that. So with your reputation management behind that, what are you putting into those spaces that makes sure you're giving the message that you want to give? So like what kind of videos, what kind of articles or something that you're putting in those spaces?
It's dependent. It's dependent upon the query. Like I've got this skincare company who's an 8-figure business, who's a client of mine, and so we've got videos ranking for their brand name review, their brand name scam. Those are sort of common ones, review and scam and stuff like that. And dependent upon the query, we've got different videos that we like when it puts in, X and so brand. I can't tell you what it is. I signed signed all these papers and stuff. Dude, you got to be careful because you sign all this stuff and you, it's. I'd love to share it with you guys, but I'd love to not be in legal trouble also. So, so when for brand name scam, we put up a video that's like, hey, this is who we are, and there's a lot of people who are calling us scam artists, and here's why we think they're calling us scam artists. But you just go straight after it, and you just come right out and say, yeah, someone, there are people who think we're a scam, but we're not. Or so it's just dependent upon the query. If it's just your brand name, like for Ezra Firestone, if you type in Ezra Firestone on Google, the video that pops up is one from me when I spoke at an event called the Internet Marketing Party, because I'm now trying to like brand myself as like a marketer and someone who talks about marketing. And so the video that I want to rank is me on stage in front of a group of people talking about marketing, because that kind of like that when someone's Googling me, it's because they found out about me through this marketing community. So I want my result page to reflect that. I don't want it to just be Ezra Firestone doing yoga, being a hippie or whatever else that I do. I want it to be relevant to what they're looking for. And 99% of people who are looking for me because they found out about me through the marketing community.
Yeah. No, that's tops, man. Because to be honest, there's not a lot of people talking about going in so in depth. So, like, does it take a lot of time to kind of get that stuff sorted out? Like, there's a process, that people have to go through.
There's a process that the video takes you through. I think within 5 days. I mean, basically, you set up all your social profiles, right? Mm-hmm. All the different ones: Pinterest, Twitter, Google, LinkedIn. Any other ones you want, Meetup, SlideShare. There's a million of these things. I got a list of them.
Yeah.
You get your YouTube, videos up there uploaded. You just set up all your properties, which will take you a day or two. It's not hard. You write unique descriptions for each one. So you pick all the channels you want. You go through Google, you type in whatever the query is, and you go through Google and you look for results that are already ranking that you don't mind showing up. A lot of times a brand will have old press releases or old pages, or someone wrote an article about them and it's right there in Google already ranking for that keyword. You just grab that, put it into your little optimization list of URLs you're going to optimize. So now you've got this whole list. You've got all your social profiles, you've got all your videos, you've got all these pages that you found that you want to rank. So you have all these URLs, and then you just use automated services like linkemperor.com is like a link building service by some guys in my mastermind group. You've got PR Web, which is like a press release company where you can do press releases to build links. You've got services like James Schramm's service, Linkjuice and Traffic Sure. He's got a bunch of them that are good. But there's all these sort of automated link building services that you just you point at these URLs, and it's really easy to rank these things because number one, Google wants all these different channels for the queries. And number two, there's nobody else who's doing real optimization for reputation management terms for people's names and stuff. It's just easy.
Now, I've got one question. In light of the Google's recent changes, how does using some of the automated services, how has that changed how you use them? Because how you used to use them 5 months ago, 6 months ago, can get you penalized as a now.
You don't,
so I mean, how are you factoring that into the things now?
Yeah, so there's for the most part, like you don't want to, these services will have this thing that they talk about anchor text distribution, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're building links with an automated service or any link building service, right? Any SEO company you hire, any SEO service you buy, in some form or another is going to be building backlinks to your different profiles that you want to rank, right? To your different websites and web pages. Now the question is, how many of those links that they're building have the actual keyword in it, right? Used to be you could just have 90% of your links had the keyword in it, and you had the highest amount of reputation for that term. Nowadays, it's down to like 20%. You know, you don't want to really have more than 20-30% with the keyword in it. The rest you want to be random keywords or blank, you know, just naked links and stuff like that.
Click here.
So yeah, you mix it up now. But any good service provider will know about that and won't be built. You know, we'll do that for you. And I can give some. I don't have a list off the top of my head here. My guys have it, but I've got a list of services that we use that I'd be happy to share.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and I think that's the key, isn't it? Like people. So that's the benefit of sort of staying up to date with this stuff is to be in sync with the changes. Because I've seen some websites go from ranking 5-page rank down to 2 in the last month or two. Like websites that I watch and I think, and I know why, because of what
people got hammered so hard by this update. I mean, these updates, man. I lost a couple sites. I lost a couple e-commerce sites in these updates, man. Google's tough on you, man. It's part of the game, and that's why it's really good to build a community and build a fan base and build a group of people who engage with your products and services. Who, like for example, if you take Boom and you look at our traffic stats, 55, might even be 65% at this point, but more than half of our traffic is coming from people typing directly into their browser bar or typing our brand name into Google. Half of our traffic is coming from our community of people that we have around our products. It's like we're basically fortified from any of these channels. If all of our rankings went away, if our Facebook ads account went away, if all that stuff died, we still got half our business.
Yeah.
So community is key.
Okay, so what's some a quick few tips that people that they've heard about this? You got to build a community, raving fans, and all this kind of stuff.
Here's what you do.
What do you do?
Real simple. Number one, you identify the collective experiences of your community. Now, I identified for you guys the collective experiences of my community of women who are 45 and over, 35 and over at this point, really, and what they're going through in their lives. Well, who's buying your rabbit toys? Who is listening to your podcast? Like, what are the experiences that these people are having? Because that's what you talk to groups of people about, is experiences that they're all having, these collective experiences. What's relevant? What are the conversations and topics that are relevant to their lives? And you create a video once a week. That's all you need. You create one video a week that has your viewpoints on those subjects. You post it to your Facebook wall, and if you've got $5 a day, if you've got $2 a day, if you've got $1 a day, it doesn't matter. You just set up a Facebook ads campaign, which you can learn about at fbadslab.com or marveo.com, marveo.com. Those are my two favorite resources for learning about Facebook. They're friends of mine, and they're awesome. Jen and Victoria, they'll teach you how to do Facebook ads. But basically, you create this video, and you put it out there on Facebook, and you advertise it out to your community with whatever budget you have. And if you are providing value, which you will be, because you won't be creating content, and like everyone's opinion is valuable. You're going to have people who agree with you. You're going to have people who disagree with you. It doesn't matter. You're going to have viewpoints on whatever's going on, and people are going to like it because they like to engage. It's what they're on Facebook for. And you just put that out every week, and that's our strategy. If you go to the Boom Facebook page, you'll see we post a weekly video. We get all these crazy comments and people getting back and forth with us. Like you put that video on your blog, you do, you know. But I think it stems with a weekly communication of some kind.
Excellent, man. So that's it, and that's basically how you build a community.
That's all you need. You need to be in communication with a group of people on a weekly basis, and then there's all kinds of other crazy stuff you can do. But that's the baseline. I mean, you need that much. If you do nothing else, you do that, you'll be good.
And the thing is, anyone can do that. I mean, and you can do that for free almost. Like a YouTube account. If you've got a YouTube account, you can make a video, and you've got a Facebook account, you've got a place where you can connect. Yeah. That's like if you've got nothing, even if you haven't got a website, you can start something today.
You know, we're the first generation of people who have instant access to the rest of the world. Nobody's ever had this before. It's crazy. I can't sleep at night sometimes thinking about how crazy it is that I could communicate with any group of people on the planet, basically. I could get my message out in front of them, and it's diabolical when you think about it. And some people are using this for bad. Like some people are not doing positive things with this ability to mass communicate. You know, like it used to be that you need that. You know, the television in every home was the mass communication method.
Not now.
I communicate with anyone wherever they are. They just turn this thing on, and everyone has one of these things, or at least most of the people in America. I mean, it's crazy. So So think about that. If you've got something to say, you can say it to people.
And the thing is, they can find you too. Like, I read a lot of Seth Godin. I'm sure you probably read a book or two of his, and he talks about that. You got a message, you can put it out there. You can reach what used to be you had to physically meet them in the street or down the pub or wherever you happen to be. You had to physically get together. Now we're talking from across the world right now. And
yeah, you're in Sydney. I'm in New York. I mean, it's crazy.
This is it. Like, we've discovered each other through Facebook, through someone else, and it's always through a connection. So through my connection with James, I saw what you're doing, and here we are. And and this is the world. This is the world we live in, and this is how business is done.
And we could have never done business together 15 years ago. I mean, it would have been a lot more difficult. So,
and I totally get the you can't sleep at night when you're thinking about this stuff, because it's just so exciting, and it's such a full-on time to actually exist in this world. Just such a full-on time, and understand the tools.
And exactly the people listen. If you're listening to this show, by the way, you're awesome, because we are not normal. And people are not. You know what I mean? We're weird. We're not. We're paying attention and looking at things from a different perspective. We're leveraging these tools that are available to us to create communities and craft messages and change the world. It's cool.
It's awesome, man. So, now, how are you using Think, Act, Get to change the world?
Okay. For example, I've got all these viewpoints on lifestyle and mindset and money and business and women and relationships and people and all these crazy viewpoints, right? That are just far out and kind of different than most people, because I grew up on this hippie commune and I was raised in a certain way and I have the background I have. Well, Think, Act, Get, James has been telling me for a long time, because you look at it like channels. Facebook is a channel. Google's a channel. Amazon's a channel. Pinterest is a channel. And they all have different types of people who hang out there. Different demographics of people. Well, the people who listen to podcasts are a really with it demographic. They are my people. We have Apple products. We are a certain type of people. Like we're loyal to our Apple products. This is a iPad Mini. So and people who have Apple products generally have more disposable income, or sort of a higher better subscriber, better buyer if you're selling information and stuff like that. But these are also people who are game changers, who take action in their communities, who are like, I like people with Apple products. I feel like we're kind of, special people. I don't know. We're just, you kind of like the groups that you're a part of.
There's that knowing glance. You see someone, there's that knowing glance. You see someone across the room, they've got an Apple product. It's like,
yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's not to alienate any of you Android users or anyone else. We love you guys too. But so Think, Act, Get is another platform for me to communicate my viewpoints and messages with a group of people. And I think that, what I am about, people having a better time in their life, people having more fun, people judging their lives positively and having the viewpoint that things are good and creating, spreading love and light to others. That's what I like to do, and I think that the feedback that we're getting is that people are liking this podcast and they're enjoying it, and it's helping them in their businesses, and it's helping them with the mindsets that it's just a way that I can spread my message and share my message with the world. And I'm leveraging James Schramm, who has a really big audience, who's we're doing this joint venture together, and I come up with the shows, and he syndicates them. It's like this cool thing, and so I'm using the channel, the iTunes channel. I'm using a friend of mine who has got a big audience, and I'm building my own audience, and we're spreading these messages out. And what happens is, if you've got something that's good, people respond to it, and they like it, and they download it, and they talk to you. And if it's something that's if it doesn't really match, if it doesn't really hit the market, if it's kind of like somehow or another you're misguided, or you've missed the boat, you're kind of off in a direction that's not resonating with people, you'll get that feedback too, and that's a good thing, because then okay, well, I need to switch this up or change something, or the feedback. There's never failure. My friend John O'Connor always says, "There's no failure, just feedback." You're just getting feedback, and then you're like, "Okay, well, this is what I need to do based on these results."
That's excellent. And so, what is some of the feedback that you're getting from Think, Act, Get? Have you done podcasts before you've done this one?
First podcast.
My
first ever podcast.
Okay,
yeah.
So how's it been for you?
I mean, I've done a lot of talking. Obviously, I like to talk. But man, people are loving it. I don't know. You go on iTunes, you can see all the comments. You go to thinkactget.com. There's a bunch of comments on each episode. You're commenting on them. I appreciate that. We're getting a lot of like people being like, yeah, my mom likes this or whatever, like, that kind of stuff where it's like people who aren't into marketing are liking this because it's not about marketing. I mean, it is about marketing, but it's more about your mindset on life and different, what we like to do is we take so what I like to do to make it easy for myself is I pick one subject per episode: willpower, timing, communication. I don't even remember what we did the last episode on. We already recorded it. Overwhelm. And this week we're doing money. So I like just give me one word, and then I just write a bunch of notes on what I think about that stuff. I send it over to James. He puts down what he thinks, and then we roll with it.
Yeah. So how prepared are you? So like you saw my level of preparation for the interview to help it keep fresh and off the cuff and raw, real, ready to go. Like that's just how I like it. I like it to be in the moment. But it does have a structure. People might not realize it, but it does actually have a structure. But
we've got a structure.
Yeah.
We've got a structure. We've got a... Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead,
No, I was going to say, but you saw it. I sent it to you probably a couple of minutes before we did this. You just said, what are we going to talk about, just to be a bit prepared? And I gave it to you. And like it was for me, it's easy to rattle off, but it's easy to follow.
Yeah.
And we're definitely following the structure, but it doesn't feel like a structured, next question type thing. So how are you keeping the flow there? Like, are you over preparing and you're not preparing that much?
Yeah, we learned from a guy. I was reading a thread by Dan Andrews of the Lifestyle Business Podcast. I think that's his name. And where he was talking about, the structure that he uses for his podcast, which is basically like you introduce your topic, you cover your viewpoints on it, you give a couple tips. I came up with this thing called the weekly willpower wager, where hopefully people are doing this thing. We got one person did it last week, where we're like challenging people to take. We've definitely got a structure, and then that helps me each week because I go in and I make the show notes and I'm like, okay, here's our topic. This is my viewpoints on it. Here's a couple stories I have. Here's a few tips. Like it makes it so much easier when you just have to fill these little slots, and then we just kind of roll. And sometimes we don't cover what's on the paper. Sometimes we do, but having that keeps us on track.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's kind of more bullet point type thing. You know what you want to say, but it's kind of bullet point. It's as you just, and I guess the advantage too is it's a audio podcast, not a video podcast.
Yeah, so, I write my show notes probably 20 minutes before the show. It's sort of
because for example, if I was sitting here and I'm doing this interview now, and and I'm sitting here, okay, and on video it's a bit different. It's but you allow yourself to be off the cuff. Because it just definitely just flows. It feels really good to listen to. Yeah. So how's your experience been with doing podcasts? So if someone out there is thinking about doing podcasts or doing a video show or doing something, like this is brand new to you. So
it's so easy if you're someone who likes to talk. Like what I want to do is I'd like to start my own. I'm going to start an e-commerce podcast and interview other e-commerce people. And I don't think there's a guy named Terry Lynn from buildmyonlinestore.com. He's got a podcast called Build My Online Store that I was on. It's all about e-commerce. Great podcast if you're an e-commerce person. But I think there's room for another e-commerce podcast, so I'd like to do that. It's super easy to just hop on and start talking to people. You don't have to worry about what you look like. I mean, you're recording me, but for the most part, I just love it. It's just awesome. And I think that it's really powerful to be in people's ears. They are listening to you. Like I have a guy being like, I was listening. I get Facebook messages all the time from the podcast. Man, I was listening to you while I was at the gym. I was listening to you while I was walking my dog. And I was like, these people are like I'm in their head while they're living their life. And that's just powerful. And I like that. I like to be able to talk to people when I'm doing whatever I'm doing, but I'm still getting the opportunity to talk to these people and have a shared experience and build a relationship with them. And I don't even have to be there or, it's this whole technology thing. So I think podcasts are my new favorite medium for communication.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I like about the audio podcast, which I noticed, it puts you in a different mindset. It's kind of like the radio. You're listening to it, but I'll put the laptop on because we'll listen to it on the laptop with a speaker plugged into it, and I'll put that on the kitchen table, and I'll walk around the house, cleaning the house, doing stuff while I got a podcast.
And it's going.
It's just like you're getting information, or if we just borrowed my father-in-law's walking machine, so now I'm sticking the laptop on this stand that it's on now in front of the walking machine. So I'm walking, listening to podcasts and watching interviews and learning. So like leveraging my time. So I'm doing one thing, but still getting that information rather than just sort of vegging out and just, doing nothing.
And you've got marketers who are listening to this show. If you're a marketer and you're looking for a new channel of customers, get yourself a podcast. It's easy. I think James has, you can, maybe Peter teaches, you have got a tutorial on how to set up a podcast. Pretty simple, right?
I don't have one, but yeah, if anyone wants to sort of learn it, I can point them in the right direction.
Yeah, it's real easy, and it's just a fantastic channel.
Awesome, man. Now, just thinking, like, so what's the future of, say, Think, Act, Get? Like, have you got X amount of episodes planned? Like, what? So, yeah, tell us.
So we don't have an episode plan. I am the episode planner, and I figure that out. Actually, I kind of have ideas of what I'd like to talk about. Oh, this is a fun topic. I'll remember that for the podcast and all that.
Yep.
Kind of just. And I think that's what's fun about it is like as I'm going through my life, these are the topics that are coming up for me. Overwhelm, money, willpower, like whatever's coming up for me. I think that's relevant because I'm a business owner and I'm out here and I'm running companies and like everyone listening to our show for the most part's an entrepreneur, and that's kind of our demographic. And so I think that it's really cool to be a part of, and I love this about masterminds. I love this about talking to you. Like I like to be involved in what other people are experiencing who are in my same industry and in my same community, because I can be like, oh yeah, that resonates with me, or man, I should look out for that when I'm doing that. It's just super helpful. So I think that's like one of the cool things that we can just share what we're up to. And for Think, Act, Get, I think we want to have a live event at some point. Like we want to build a really strong community and fan base around our podcast, and then engage with them in other ways, meet them in person, do webinars with them, like just create this community and then find ways that we can add more value, ask them what they want to learn from us, and then, make offers and that kind of stuff.
Cool, man. Now listen, this is a big thing that is my show is kind of around the topic of I've been around the traps for a little while now, and I've seen shonky guys, I've seen the guys that kind of tell you half truths, and I've seen the guy that tells you the truth, tells you how it is. What I want to do, my purpose of the show, is to really shine the spotlight on the people who are doing cool stuff, the good guys. I want to shine the spotlight on the good guys so we can get to the heart and soul of people who are the real deal. And, I want to build a reputation of, I'm looking for someone who can do this. Okay, well, I'll go to the Peter Montgomery show and find who's the guy that I need to be speaking to who does that. And I just want to say, nice. Man, like after speaking to you and checking out your stuff, man, like you definitely get my thumbs up as one of the good guys.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. And I feel the same about you. I can feel it. I told you, man, we got something good going here.
Yeah, there definitely is something going on, man. Now, listen, I want to get you to rattle off the major websites that you want to send people to. So, you got your Smart Marketer website, your products, like your actual e-commerce site, so people can go and see that. Anything that you want to tell me, places to send people to. Just rattle off that list, and I'll go to the end of the interview, and then I'll link it all up.
Awesome. I want to send people to smartmarketer.com. That people who are into marketing and entrepreneurship and business, this is where I'll be sharing my viewpoints on that. I don't have any products for sale at this point. I've got you know what else? I've got a jingle company. If you've got a company or a brand that you want to be around for a while, it's a really good idea to associate a sound with it. I'm not going to do a whole pitch on jingles, but they're awesome. And you can go to smartjingle.com to learn about that. And there's a video there that'll explain, all my viewpoints on jingles and why I like them and why I use them in my businesses and all that stuff. So smartjingle.com, smartmarketer.com, and boom by cindyjoseph.com if you want to check out an e-commerce site. And, I've got nothing for sale other than jingles at this point. I will be coming out with an e-commerce course that's soup to nuts, A to Z. How do you find a market? How do you figure out what to sell? How do you contact suppliers? How do you build out a platform? How do you generate traffic for that platform? How do you engage your community and get them to come back? How do you get your store to convert? All this stuff. That'll be coming out in a couple months, so have a look on Smart Marketer for that. And until then, jump on the list. I'll be sending out videos and doing webinars. And really what I want to do is serve the community and add value and share what I'm up to, and also sell products. Obviously, I want to make money, but if I'm spending my time doing this, I'd like to, I will figure out a way to monetize it and have it make some money for me. But it's more like I've put on, I don't even know how much time and energy I'm into this project, and I don't have anything for sale yet, but I will. So keep an eye on that.
No, they're a pretty savvy audience, man. The one that I got, they know how the deal goes. Like entrepreneurs, it's always building and testing and putting it into place, and things aren't always quite ready, even to the moment where you're delivering. Even sometimes then you're still scraping in there. So that's totally
well. That was
cool.
James. That was what I was going to do. Is I wasn't planning on having anything for sale. I was just going to do this marketing blog, and he, turns out people will respect you more if if they invest in your information. They'll take it more seriously and that kind of stuff. And so
Yeah.
I think that's really true, is that when you invest in something, when you pay for something, you value it more.
Totally, man. Now, I'm also going to send people to Think Act Get, so I'll be putting that link down there as well, and you can check out all that stuff.
Yes.
And if I've missed any of the websites there, like, you can comment on Facebook or wherever. So there's a lot of websites he mentioned throughout. So if you want to get them linked up, just put a comment and I'll go back and link those up as well, because you mentioned a lot of cool websites that people can go visit. All right, man. Ezra, it's been awesome having you, man. You've been an incredible guest, and I was looking forward to this. And man, you delivered 100%. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on the show, and looking forward to connecting in Sydney in a couple months.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, you take it easy, man. I'll see you soon.
Bye.